AEW Dynamite is turning 5 years old. They're having their 5-year show in Pittsburgh. Trevor, you and I had the distinct honor of being at the first ever AEW Dynamite in Washington, D.C.
Definitely did. It was a night, man. It was definitely a night.
5 years later, looking back, man, how crazy is it?
It's insane. Like, I remember having this conversation with you maybe 2 years ago, I think, and how they just pretty much rocket shipped their way into mainstream, and like we're here, look at us, and like, and don't get me wrong, the ticket sales may not be great, but people still watch Dynamite, and they're still watching AEW, and the talent is giving them reasons to watch AEW. Like,
Yep.
there are a lot of talented guys on that roster. A lot of them. Some of them are still there from day one. I mean, Moxley was there from day one.
That image of Moxley like sneaking up behind Kenny Omega at the first ever Dynamite.
Dude, it was because it was so crazy because where I was working the hall, and where they had their little stunt in the back, that's where they're going. Like, dude, like the security
guards, he DDT'd him like or whatever.
Yeah, through the glass table. Yeah, that was right back by me, and like they were pushing out away, like, yo, move, 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 and like literally, like I literally had to grab one of my coworkers because she got pushed, and like they were just running, and I was like, yo, I almost got taken out. And then when Mox and Kenny came back, Kenny tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Good job, bro." And when he tapped his own shoulder, like, "Good job," because like, dude, like if we didn't act fast, we would have been like, and that lady would have been ran over. But like that's how quick it was. It was such a memorable night though. Like hot dogs being thrown at Jericho.
Yo, shout out to whoever threw that hot dog.
Again, I know who did it.
Shout out to him.
I'm actually friends. I used to work with the guy. I'm friends with him. Actually, I think you know him too.
Hey! Don't get my boy banned from Capital One Arena.
No, I actually think you know him too. I'll tell you afterwards.
Oh, there we go. But it is crazy though. Like, I mean, it doesn't feel like it's been 5 years, but so much has happened in that time. Because like AEW Dynamite 2 is like taking so many different forms. Like you had like, the original era of AEW Dynamite, the pandemic Dynamites, which you could argue some of their best shows ever were during the pandemic.
Absolutely. Dude, they performed so well. I think they did so much better when it comes to that than Raw did, honestly.
100%,
yeah. Like it was entertaining, very entertaining. I mean, don't get me wrong, I still give Drew McIntyre all the credit in the world for putting that company on his back at the time he did. But yeah, I think they did better.
100%. And I think like, having people there, having some sort of an ambiance and like a vibe in the arena, that helped because those empty arenas in WWE, those are not it.
Oh, they were not it. It was making you more depressed. I think the realization that no one was there was more depressing than anything else.
It is like anyone who says like, look, the worst WrestleMania of all time is WrestleMania 36, in my view.
Oh, absolutely.
Shout out to every single one of those people who worked their butts off to try to make that thing work. It just didn't. Yet the only two pieces of thing of the only two matches you can go back and really watch from that show are the cinematic matches, the Firefly Funhouse and the Boneyard. I almost said the Bones. The Bonesaw is ready, man.
The Bonesaw.
But the Boneyard match. Those are the only two things you can watch. It's like workshop, like AEW, dude. From like the first week, they're like, all right, we're just gonna have whoever's in the back, they're gonna be in the audience, and that's gonna be the ambiance. And then they had like all the wrestlers at Dark, they had like, and then they had wrestlers who like were big stars they weren't using, like MJF was in the audience, Sammy Guevara was in the audience, Shawn Spears was in the audience, like watching the show. Like it added an element of like, oh, okay, like there's something going on, and they would kind of work that into a storyline too. Like I think like the legacy of Dynamite 5 years in is that like it's a show for wrestling fans that has a certain standard. I'd say hot take. I don't think that there is a show that is held to a higher standard, a weekly television wrestling show that is held to a higher standard than AEW Dynamite, both from its fans and its harshest critics.
Yeah, and I think that's something that can be agreed with because I mean even the whole so-called WWE fanboys,
Mm-hmm.
they even criticize it and hold it to a certain standard. Oh, John Moxley's just gonna bleed again. Hey, you running that into the ground.
I'm John Mox. I'm Seth
What
Rollins.
the like, come on, dude. Like I mean, but yeah, like the funniest thing is, and I say this all the time. I've said this for years. The most critical fans in the world, not basketball, not football,
No.
not even movie fans. It's wrestling fans.
Yep.
They are the biggest hypocrites, the biggest critics, and half of them know absolutely nothing of what they're talking about.
Be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell, everyone.
we're the other side, but you know.